we're gonna show you how to do street tuning. So first thing you want to do is change your wideband out and spark plugs. That way you get the most accurate reading and just like crisp, I guess what do I call it, fresh everything up for the ignition. So
yeah, I'm actually going to do my primary O2 sensor as well because it does use that for closed loop, but we're going to be tuning an open loop, and that'll just use this, and that way it's not adjusting, but just to maximize the performance after it's all street tuned when I'm driving it around. And then I actually changed the battery too, just for the sake of the ignition being at its best.
yeah, and this is, so you got OBD2 as well, so
Yeah.
you got primary, well, which one's your
This is wideband,
wideband?
primary, and then this is a secondary. It's been running with that different header on it. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, 'cause the header before was
Unequal length, 1320 performance.
yeah, so it had, they sound cool. They sound like a Subaru / Harley, but from like dyno videos and dyno people doing tests with them, I guess they, was it torque or power? They took away a little bit of power or something.
Yeah, you lose one or the other.
But, so upgrading to this header, you got to retune the car. Anytime you modify the exhaust or intake or anything, that'll slightly change the flow of air and like what you want your, it'll change the torque band, the power band, so it'll slightly change it, and you want to retune the vehicle every time you do that. That way you get peak performance out of your parts. Just like racers throwing in hot air intakes on their cars, they think it's going to give them more power, but they're really losing power because they're getting hot air. The car's base map from the factory is not meant for that, so it's not going to, or doing a test pipe. We get rid of your catalytic converter on a stock car with a stock ECU, your car just runs a lot richer, which is not good for it, and you're losing power. The worst part about Integras is the O2 sensor. But luckily, race car life, we don't have any carpet in here.
There's some already. This hole's like, you gotta get this square peg to the square hole.
Yeah, there's your O2 sensor hole. I don't even know if I've got it up there on video, but it's such a pain.
Yeah, it just barely fits because it's like square. So I had to kind of cut it away a tiny bit to fit it, but there's a grommet for it too. But yeah, so now I got the new sensors over here. I used these are the plugs that I use. These are the iridiums. That's the part number. And then this is an OEM primary oxygen sensor. The part number for that. Wideband that I bought, I forgot what brand it is, but this is the part number that they use for the wideband sensor. And you can get all these at like AutoZone, but I got them off of Rock Auto.
Way cheaper.
Look at it. Plug's different.
Oh yeah, that's a OEM style.
Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, I don't know, what is this from?
This is actually the one that you want to get.
Oh yeah.
Because it has a different end on it. This is... But this one's used.
Yeah, these are expensive ones too, aren't they? Like 80 bucks. Yeah, we'll probably have to make a auto chode run. Alright, parts store trip in the Baller TL. The 6-speed J32. How many miles does this thing have on it?
330,000.
Yeah, I gotta see if we have a picture of the timing belt. When I did the timing belt on this thing, it was so bad. Don't you have it hanging on the wall of shame?
Yeah, it's on the wall of shame.
When we get back, Chris, show them. Yeah, it's got all the features.
Yeah.
The rear view mirrors like tilt down when you put it in reverse.
Check the odometer.
There you go, 332. This is one of the most things I miss about New York is good food, Indian food. The more ghetto the shack, the better the food is. now we're back with the right O2 sensor.
Luckily they have one in stock, so we can do that when we're not in Montana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll ship it out. We don't do imports, so it'll take 6 weeks. Well, if it's 350 Chevy, that was, oh yeah, I think I already got the part number on that. But
Yeah, that's the
wide band.
It'll look like that. Little anti-seize 5-wire for the wideband. The regular O2 sensors are 4.
And the end will be different depending on the brand of, what do you call it? The gauge you got on there.
Yeah.
Get the heat wrap just for safety measures. And then I don't know if we said this before, but you always want your wideband closest to the engine as possible, but at the collector, so where all the tubes come together.
And it usually goes in at a slight angle, unlike the regular primary that just goes in through the side. For some reason it says to have your bung at an angle. Find your home.
Yeah, zip ties are your friend with wiring, especially when you're next to the exhaust. Now, spark plugs. And order your stickers at no website. Hit me up on Instagram if you want stickers.
Good and tight.
Got the OG Energies. See how healthy it was. Oh, it's not bad at all. It's also a good way to check a motor when you're going to buy a car, is pull spark plugs out and see what color they are. Yeah, not bad for butt tuning with Hondata. Bone stock life. The Hondata tour.
Yeah, so I have my latest tune on Street Tune Integra opened up. To stop recording, it's this big red button there, and it'll actually start data logging. And then the grass will open up here in tables, and you can see these are the fuel maps. So this is your actual mass air. This is your at your intake manifold air pressure, and then this is the RPM, and then when it's graphing is your air fuel ratio here. So when you go to this table, you can see like the readings here. I'm not sure what the measurement is in, but some sort of pressure, and then there's your actual RPMs. And so as you climb in both the amount of air it's pulling and the RPM, you'll find it plot all the different fuel air ratios, and then you'll see like spikes and different changes into this, and you can actually adjust accordingly, whether you want to do like a tiny spot or if you want to do like a huge area. And you can do like you can smooth it out, or you can just individually input increase or decrease by right clicking on it when it's running, decrease, increase.
And you can turn on the suggested, whatever it was, the AFR or whatever.
Yeah, you set your target AFRs, and then it'll kind of go red and green, and I think it's just red when it's out and then green when you're within that parameter. And then you can also do a 2D if you don't like the 3D, but I actually like the 3D graph a little bit better. It's easier to visualize. And then you have to make sure when you're actually data logging that you tune an open loop, so it's not trying to adjust its fuel air by itself with the primary O2 sensor. You want it basically to just run and have you doing all the control from the computer. So I gotta find that setting. Yeah, so there it is.
Yeah.
You go to there. Close loop tab. And then this options on closed loop operation, and you want to do open loop. So low load 14.7.
Which is stoichiometric.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that's perfect air fuel ratio for it to burn.
And then obviously medium load, you start wanting it to be a little richer, 13.5, and then high load 12.5. So it's going to be basing that graph off of these inputs here. And your target lambda, and that's in the settings up in options that you get that, and then target lambda tab. And that's set based off of, this is an NA, so if you're running boost, it changes the bars, and then it'll adjust that accordingly too. So it makes it pretty intuitive. And this is obviously where you can do everything else, like your VTEC, your rev limits. Like I think mine's set to, yeah, so 8,484.
And then two-step action.
Yeah. Launch control, you can set your parameters for under 6 miles an hour. I have my RPM set to 6510. And then enrich fuel and retard timing. And you could even do a burnout rev limit too.
Drag strip life. click the lightning bolt for the start of the pole.
Yeah.
And then
you'll have your values here.
and then click it off.
Yeah,
When you,
so.
I click it off when you get to 8,000 right now.
You want to record it now?
Yeah, that worked now.
What?
That worked now.
Okay. What are those saying? Decrease or increase at the top end?
It's going increase, about mid-range is increase, and then high end is decrease a little bit.
Okay. So you can drag the mouse.
Yeah, highlight it. And
then right click it. And then you can tell how much to increase or decrease by. Or smooth if you
hit adjust.
What? Yeah, adjust, and I think you can enter it. 5%.
I'll do 5% because across the board it's 18 to negative. Oh, hold on, let me do it this way. I'll increase these. Let me decrease these by 7 since that's the lowest. Okay, yeah, good. Alright, so there was a lot of trial and error. What was going on was I was having them start throttle before I started data logging, so I'd have them full throttle and then I would hit the data log, which is a little lightning bolt or whatever, and it was causing the graph to have like a weird blip area, but that's because it was like if you're hitting a bump or something, it would mess up the throttle a little bit before hitting the full throttle, so it was giving me a weird reading in certain areas, and I was adjusting it and I was still having the same issue where it was moving a little bit, and that's because of just trying to data log at the wrong time. So what you want to do is have the data log running the whole time, a little lightning bolt, and then like when you're about to do a pull, just have it running, and then as soon as before he gets off the throttle, you want to click it to freeze, and that'll give you a cleaner graph to work off of. So that's just kind of like a trial and error, two brains trying to do the same thing at once, and that's why I was having so much issues with it at first, and nothing was really changing. I kept getting weird areas that made no sense. So this last area, or this last map, isn't a pull. This was actually just running before we shut the car off, so that's why this is all funky. But did clean it up, running way more smooth in mid-range, which is where the issue was, which would be like this area here. We still can clean it up a little bit more. We just ran out of time today, but all of this is way cleaner, and you can probably hear it in the camera on the GoPro. But if you do the higher RPM range, so you'll see this dip, and that's where VTEC engages, and it gives you a spike for lean, because obviously VTEC, when it engages, it opens up the intake valves a little bit more too, so it just gives a really quick spike, so that's normal. And you can see that right here on the graph, it's telling me to increase fuel by like about 20% right here, and that's just that VTEC spike. But yeah, everything else, like, I wish I should have saved the last data log to kind of break it down a little bit more, but essentially that's all that was going on, is having two issues. But at least you guys got a bunch of VTEC pulls in the Kanjo DC, and maybe we'll do a little more tomorrow or something, now that we figured it out. We definitely should have looked it up again before we started doing it, because it's both been like 3 years for us since we've tuned the car, or tuned any of our cars, because I moved away. So just trial and error stuff, but we figured it out, and definitely can clean it up a little bit more, and we will maybe see what happens while I'm out here. And I apologize if the videos are a little bit choppy, because we're just kind of going at it and doing this as we're doing it. You know, this is like hanging out with the boys in the garage. We're not doing retakes or anything, so a little bit raw, a little bit choppy, but hope you guys enjoy, and just the full effect of the Kanjo Brothers garage. Anyways, if you guys like the video, I appreciate a like, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the builds and the projects, and follow me on Instagram, Kanjo_brothers, for more content on there, stories and sneak peeks and all that stuff, as well as giveaways. I do giveaways here and there. So yeah, thanks for watching.